Greetings, friends, and welcome to another episode of Let Us Talk Games. I'm your host, Sweaty Lettuce. Today we are going to do a deep dive of the I Crit You Not Cooperative game mode, the Starvos Catastrophe. But first, a message from our sponsor. When you are craving the essence of sun-baked seaweed and the kick of crushed crab carcass, reach for the all-new low-tide Takis. Guaranteed to have the aftertaste of 2-day-old starfish. Low-tide Takis, available now. In the Starvos Catastrophe, the players put aside their dueling differences and join forces to save the galaxy. Much like the I Crit You Not PvP mode, this battle consists of 8 rounds, and if Starvos still lives at the end of round 8, it uses the Annihilate ability that destroys the planet. But no pressure. This game mode scales depending on how many players are participating, which sets Starvos' life to 50 times the number of players. Starvos starts the battle by emitting a fear wave, which requires all players to roll a d20 plus their charm. If it's 5 or less, that player skips the round and takes 1d6 damage. After the fear wave, Starvos does its round 1 action, Claw Strike. This attack targets a random player, and there are a number of ways to accomplish this. The quickest, and my favorite, is to have all players roll their d20 with no bonuses and the lowest number takes the attack. Depending on how many players there are, you can assign each player a number or series of numbers and roll 1d6 to determine who takes the attack. Anyway, once a target has been chosen, that player rolls their d20 plus Starvos' speed, which is 6. If that number is greater than the player's defense, they roll 1d8 plus 6 for damage. Ouch. Now all the players roll d20s plus their speed to determine who goes first, and then take turns doing their 2 actions. At any time, any player that rolls a 1 must roll for a calamity and end their turn. And if they roll a natural 20, they roll for an enhancement and do maximum damage if on an ability or an attack. It is important to note that Starvos does not roll calamities or enhancements. It either misses or hits. After all players have completed their actions, they roll for an enhancement before another Fear Wave roll begins the second round. The Starvos ability for round 2 is Fire Blast, which requires all players to roll a d20 plus Starvos' energy, which is 4. If that roll is more than the player's defense, they roll 2d10 plus 4 damage. Next, players roll for speed, roll their actions, then enhancement. Then round 3 Fear Wave, and the third round ability is Bite, which requires a random player to roll a d20 plus Starvos' power, which is 5. And if it hits, that player rolls 1d10 plus 5 damage. The round 4 ability is Devastate, which requires all players to roll 1d20 plus Starvos' charm, which is 4, and if that hits, the players roll 1d20 plus 4 for damage. Yikes. Round 5 is back to Fire Blast, round 6 is Claw Strike, round 7 is Bite, and round 8 is Devastate again. Hopefully yous can work together and defeat this monstrosity before it annihilates the planet. Luck be with you. That is all for the Starvos Catastrophe Deep Dive. Support our sponsors by buying some low-tide Takis and visiting prismcortex.net. I'm Sweaty Lettuce, and thanks for tuning in to Let Us Talk Games.